Hello everybody. Another setup real quick. Okay, right after, okay? I'm gonna use new Panther by not polished today. Ran out all my chisel nudes. Finally. I'm using my C curve tips right now. I'm gonna leave Sunday for my Atlanta class. Sorry, don't put your finger in there, it's gonna melt it. And then you're fine. C curve tips, gotta be careful not to do it too thick or give too much of a curve, too bulk. That should be just about right there. Do my apex bead. Make sure my apex is nice and flush. Bring the powder in. So this should be about a little bit excess under here, but we can file that out. I'm using C curve tips. I can do a little more apex, but I don't really need that much, to be honest, because it's about a medium to medium long. Gotta make sure that everything's just distributed evenly. It's the important part. A tiny little bit more here, just to please the apex gods. I really don't need that much because C curve tips are a little bit, it has a little curved bulkiness to it. You don't want to add too much apex. I trimmed the size of the C curve tips a little bit though, because I didn't like how curvy it was. Sometimes I do that. It's been a while since I've done one beading. That's why you gotta knock out one bead just to say you can still do it, you know. Well, people be like, oh no, he can't do it one bead. That's why he does two beads all the time. Just to flex a little bit. There we go. There you go. Just like that. Just add a little bit of apex there and there. One beading is just really just controlling the powder. Make sure you have the right ratio and powder and getting the bead up there and positioning. You have to know really how long you have to work with certain things. You have to know, like, I have enough, like 5 to 10 seconds to work on the cuticle area before I start moving the powder, before it starts dripping down, before it starts drying. That's essentially the one beading, just everything you know, understand about powder and control. You execute. Really not that hard to get a one bead It's just not practical because sometimes you have to go back up and add apex, but it does speed up the process a little bit faster. I could leave like this, but it's a little bit thin for me, right? Just gonna go back through and just reposition this powder. Make sure I shape my nails. That's the important thing, shaping the nails. Hello, Keisha, how are you? Ooh, sorry, guys. Hello, one scum brush got to use. Yeah, make sure you clean that brush though. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Hey, Anthony. Wow, Anthony, what time is it over there in the UK? You still up? What time's it in the UK right now, Anthony? Set. Just make sure you work a little bit quicker, but once you have an understanding of your powder and control and beading, one beading is definitely just very simple. A lot of people want to do it, but it's not really, it's not something you want to, it's not a goal. I want to say one beading is more of like a test of your understanding. Like if you get into a level where you understand the powder, you have control, one beading is how you execute that ability. It's not something that you should like, oh, try to seek out like when you first start doing nails, like, oh, I want to do one bead, I want to bead. No, that's not how it works. When you start doing nails, you want to, that's not what you're seeking out. You're seeking out how to understand the powder, 2 bead, 3 bead, 4 bead, whatever beads you have to do. Once you get that understanding, then you apply it to everything you do. And that's when you start, you test yourself. You can do a 1 bead, that means you understand it. So a lot of nail techs come in this industry, that's all they want to think about is doing 1 beads, but it's definitely not really a practical technique to use if you're a beginner. But if you have the knowledge and the control, yeah, use it. I go back to 2 beading because it just gives me more control and I'm able to build better structure quicker. It doesn't increase my timing that much more doing a 2 bead compared to a 1 bead. So I'm not using that. And then a lot of people think that, oh, doing a 1 bead make their sets go faster. No, it doesn't. You consider going back through and checking out, if you, let's say, made a mistake or something like that. That's just gonna cost you a lot more time. You can be an amazing acrylic applicator without ever using a 1 bead. I've seen some people use 3 beads, 4 beads, and their application is amazing. I love it. I love the structure. Whatever you gotta do, as long as you get it there. Technique is important. Sure, your technique requires you to do 5 beads, but it's like the best structure ever. Do 5 beads. And 1 hand down. This is just application so far. Do a 6 bead? Well, do a 6 bead then, girl. Do whatever bead you need to do. As long as you're getting paid. As long as you're getting paid. And if you haven't yet, you better enter in that giveaway on my Instagram in the pinned link. I'll announce the winner in Atlanta when I go to Atlanta. For my class in Atlanta. I think when I first started doing lives, all I did was one beads. And if someone asked, is that, practical? And I'm like, oh no, let me show you two beads. Remember, your application, the smoother it is, the easier it is for you to finish your set later. I'm not gonna drill file too much because my application is very smooth. Just gonna go through, make sure everything is nice and smooth. File, shape. I should finesse my shape because I'm shaping right now with my application. Good Thursday, yeah. Happy Thursday. Dang, it's already Thursday. Week's flying fast. Before you know it, next month I'm already heading West Coast for my West Coast classes. Denver first. Ooh, Denver. It's probably hot right now. They're in June. Is it hot in June, Denver? Anybody from Denver here? I can't wait for West Coast though. It's been so long. I mean, like, they've been waiting for so long. You guys are so patient. I just remember doing all these East Coast classes and everybody West Coast like, when are you gonna come West Coast? We finally doing it. I think starting off with Denver, Vegas, and Cali is a good, good start. And then when we come back from West Coast, it's gonna be East Coast master classes. Ooh. I know a lot of my students are ready for that. All the East Coast students just waiting for that master class. They've been working hard. Remember what I talked about yesterday about holding the brush? I have to hold up here, hold it back here. In my Q&A, you guys see that? See how I hold my brush? How much control I have compared to if you were holding a brush like this. This is the way to hold it. Cradle the brush like this. You have a lot more control. It's very fluid. Those of you guys that watch my Q&As, you know what I'm talking about. Just gonna apply one of your classes and we dream. A lot of right now, every state's open up. Everybody's getting vaccinated. COVID is becoming COVID. I mean, it's like the flu. There's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta get your flu vaccination and Remember, we're never gonna get rid of COVID, but I mean, like, the world has been put on standstill for so long. I don't think I'm gonna wait around for that to happen. I got my vaccinations. A lot of everybody on my team got vaccinated, so we can travel. And I just assume a lot of students are taking their responsibility. We've had students that get sick and they're like, okay, we can't make it, and they're like, oh, fine, that's good. Thank you for being considerate. Honestly, if I'm gonna sit inside and wait for COVID to go away, I might as well hibernate. They ain't gonna go away ever. Cases have dropped in the United States. Pretty much all of Florida is vaccinated, so I'm good. A lot of states are getting fully vaccinated. You can literally get vaccinated at Walmart. I think that if the government's going to give us the ability to get vaccinated at Walmart, I don't know what else to say, guys. There's no excuse not to get vaccinated if you don't want, if you want to go outside. F1 do hope the world goes back to normal, but it's not big enough beat. I don't have to do a 2B for this one. This beat's not big enough. Ooh. Now I file these C-square tips a little bit to make them less curved because my client's nails are really small. Last thing I want to do is have them too curvy, so I took out the curve a little bit. Plus, what it does also, it creates less thickness on the sidewalls too. Sometimes C-curve tips are way too curvy or way too thick, so it gives more thickness on the sidewalls, and it doesn't look really aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. And we're done with the application. But make sure you clean your brush, everybody. That means use the rest of the monomer, feather through. You see how it's sticky? That means there's acrylic here. That, just break it up. Sometimes it's just residue. That, so you just gotta get. So I'm gonna get some fresh monomer here actually to clean this brush because. Not too much though. Brush management is important. I say this every time in my lives. Listen to me. See that? The difference? Before? You'll know where the acrylic is. When the brush is, you just got done working, is whatever acrylic buildup in there is still soft. So you can clean it out. But you leave this brush for an hour sitting with that stuff in there, it's gonna harden. Now you're gonna have to spend more time cleaning it. So spend your time cleaning your brush. It's your biggest investment. So you should be able to use this brush, my brush anyways, for a year. There you go. You can form it back to how I crimped it. Train it how you want it. And this is the flatness I want. It'll stay like that. Okay, let's go to shaping. Let's use 100 grit. First thing to do is bring in the sides. Be nice and taper. Don't want to shape too much because I don't want to remove too much, okay? The shape should already be there. I've never done class in the UK. Oh, thank you, Bonnie Parker. Can't travel right now international anyways. UK, you guys are like in like lockdown still, aren't you? Took you guys about less than 5 minutes to do the shaping. If you've done your application right, you shape during your application, this is literally how long it takes to shape. If you spend more than 10 minutes shaping, you're gonna have to assess what you're doing there, because you're actually making the shape worse and worse and worse. So be careful with that, okay? That's it, we're done. How do you get your nails so shiny? It's not shiny yet. This is still like a matted look. I haven't top coated yet. I still gotta drill and buff this, so the design she's doing today is gonna be a matted look, so we're not gonna be doing shine, we're doing matted. They're free of lockdown? I don't know, last I checked. UK is possible. I have a lot of followers over there. Just that not the time to travel internationally. Maybe like next year when everything's died down a little bit more for international restrictions. Because right now, domestic restrictions are different from international right now. I wouldn't want to get stuck over there for 2 weeks. Do you shape before your e-file for a specific reason? Yeah, I shape. I shape because e-filing, you might e-file first. The bulkness is kind of a little bit difficult to work with. I shape first because I don't really have to e-file that much. Only time I'm e-filing later is I'm gonna be doing the cuticle work. That's it. Majority of the time, my application is smooth. I don't really have to e-file. I'm not drilling on the whole nail. But I shape first to get it out of the way. You can do e-filing first, but I find that knowing e-filing and looking at the shape and like knowing that it's not shaped crisp. No specific reason, but I think it's more practical to shape first than e-file. Because if you did everything proper, you wouldn't have to even focus on e-filing that much. You'll be done after you do the cuticle work. Sometimes I like to hand file it too, So that's why I do that also, because I get the opportunity to hand file also. So I like to hand file, just me really go over really quick, smooth everything out. Just like that. It's actually pretty quick. If your application was smooth, this is actually really efficient compared to the e-filing. Because sometimes your e-file, when you have smooth application, your e-file, you might accidentally drill into the acrylic. It actually will be more work for you. So with a hand filer, you're actually a little bit more. You have a little bit more less pressure. You won't run into issues of that. But it's each your own. Sometimes I use e-file too. You can use a sanding band. You know, it's like I'm just doing the base of the nail, but when I get in here, I have to do the cuticle work when I use e-file also. There you go. So it takes about maybe a few minutes to go through and smooth it out. If your application is smooth, it can be. Just gotta understand when to move the powder. Shoot, my application was never this smooth when I first started. I'll admit that. There you go. When finished with this, we're going to do cuticle work. Nice buff. Go right into design. So I'm using my fine bit. This is going to be a sharp bit, okay? Meaning that it's not a safety. I do have the safety on my store for those that are still new, but this is the fine sharp. Thank you, Lynette Sherelle. The stars. This is a taper square. Meaning that the sides are straight, square, but kind of a little petite. But I use C-curve tips. I'm going to go through where I hand file. It's very smooth. I'm just going to use my file to just go through real quick. Instead of using my drill where I have to go through like the bulkness, sometimes I might accidentally drill into it. This gives me the ability just to guide it over, smooth everything out. My main goal of doing this is getting these cuticles nice and flush so that it doesn't lift on the client, okay? You have to get into these cuticles. Just like that. time is now. Cause usually, you should only spend probably a minute and a half on each nail. And for a lot of you guys that are spending 3 hours doing nails, you need to like time yourself. Each step, what you're doing, how long you're doing it. Sometimes you're doing an excessive amount of time. You're spending too much time doing the same thing over and over. You gotta really make sure that you're timing yourself, making sure that you're not spending too much time doing something. And that's what you're running into issues. You're wasting time, or you're doing something too long. And sometimes when we're working, we don't really think about it. But we need to set ourselves some kind of time goal that we're gonna be under 3 hours. No reason why you'd be taking 3 hours for a full set, other than the fact that you're focusing too much of your time doing something over and over and over when it's unnecessary. I find myself doing that too. Like you saw that the pinky, I was done way at a time, but I'm sitting there drilling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that I'm like, I need to move on. You need to tell yourself, okay, you need to move on to the next step. Give yourself 10 minutes to shape. Give yourself, 30 minutes or 45 minutes to do application. One hand, 30 minutes, something like that, so that you can meet some goals. You can't just depend on yourself just to sit there and just work and just like be over 3 hours a full set. Because I can sit here and dilly-dally and be 3 hours easily. But I know exactly like, okay, I need to finish up on this and whatever allowed time that I gave myself. And then start pushing yourself to go faster and faster every time in each step. If you're taking 2 minutes per finger, the next set, say, I'm gonna cut it down to a minute and a half, a minute and 45 seconds, something like that. You gotta shave down the time slowly, okay? Time management is probably one of the most important things. It's not that you guys are slow, it's just maybe you're just doing a step too long or repeating steps that you don't need to repeat. It takes in the time. It's for the beautiful babes, thank you. Thank you, LaDonte. They're probably at home eating pork rinds right now. Hey Blue, what's up? Butler, Georgia, okay. These 501 bits are actually like a jack of all trades bits. You can probably use it for pretty much anything. Big enough to go through the whole nail, sharp barrel to go through the top area. Break down powder, smooth out the nail. See? There you go, just like that. It's very important to flush the cuticle area, as I'm doing right now. It gives you the ability to eliminate the majority of your lift. go. One hand down. Shape, drilled. Look how smooth that is. Do you use a 5-in-1 for natural nails or just coarse bit? Ooh, no, you don't use this for natural nails. This is for just on a top of acrylic. Natural nails, you want to use a sanding band. You don't want to use a bit. You want to use a sanding band. Because you don't want to put any, this is metal. So you don't want to go over the natural nail because it's very, very sharp or strong. So you don't want to put any light pressure and eat into the natural nails that much. You want to use a sanding band. Medium as high as I'll go with sanding band. Coarse a little bit too much. I don't want to sand into the natural nail bed too much. I only use about a medium to prep my nails. So be careful with that blue. Do not use a metal bit on top of the natural nails. I mean, unless it's one of those like sandpaper ones, those metal sanding bands. These are these have teeth on it, so it can eat into acrylic, so it can definitely eat into the nail. Okay. Should be the cuticle area. Hey Sheen, how are you? Yep, medium sanding band. Medium sanding band. You don't want to use I see a lot of people use like coarse. It's too coarse. You know, you don't want to drill into you don't want to sand into their natural nail bed. And I know the coarseness gives you a little coarse, but medium will get the job done. Whenever you're using sanding band on top of nail bed, you don't want to go too long. Just one pass over, that's it. You do it too long, it's going to eat it too much of the natural nail bed. You don't want that, okay? Go. We got a few fingers left. We're gonna buff. Well, we're gonna clean underneath first. Buff, and then. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Your hand moves real quick.
Sorry.
Go. You see how this we already sanded earlier? It makes it so much easier for us to actually smooth it out. If this was thick, when I do use this, I'm gonna have a lot of friction. That's a lot of work, you know. I don't want to go back and forth with that. So I did it with the hand filer first. So when I go through this, it's just very nice and easy and smooth. See that? I have no resistance at all. I just run through and just smooth it out. Rather than me having to use this drill bit, which is a metal bit, and I have to break down any bulk I have. Then you're more likely gonna eat into the acrylic, and then you're gonna make more work for yourself. Because once you eat into the acrylic, you have to even everything out to make everything more balanced again. Now I just go through and just smooth it out where I was, drilling. But most importantly is the cuticle area. Flushing this spot will guarantee that when my client's nails grow out, they won't lift as much because I'm flushing it right to the nail bed. A lot of you guys are having lift issues and pop-offs. That's where it's coming from. Okay. I know it's hard getting around these corners, guys, but you gotta do it. Reposition your client's hands, tell them relax, do whatever you gotta do, This is the most important part of the nail process. You can do a good application where you don't seal it in, you don't make sure it stays. It's gonna lift, it's gonna pop off. There's no point, okay? Make sure you get this process in. Just like that. I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna use I'll probably use this too. Just getting rid of any excess acrylic underneath. And right here, see it? Get rid of that. That sounds so weird, but I'm just gonna do a little bit of shaping underneath here also. There you go. So let's go back through and just check the shape a little bit, crisp it up, make sure it's nice and tapered. Doing taper square, you gotta make sure that you bring both sides in equally, okay? Sometimes the shape changes as a thickness change. So a lot of you guys are breaking down a lot of bulk. I know that your shape looked great, and all of a sudden out of nowhere after you're done, you're like, oh, why does my shape look so different now? It's because thickness will change by the shape also. Before it was thicker, then when you drill down when it made it thinner, the shape have minor changes. So go back through and just crisp up the shape. This will take about a few minutes, but it'll increase the shape, your aesthetics for when you take pictures a lot better. Do this now so you don't have to regret it later. When you take pictures, you're like, oh my gosh, I should have, or when you did the design, you're like, oh, before I painted, before I did the design, I should have done this, done that. Well, this is when you do it right here. It only takes a few minutes, but it's sacrifice willing. Rather than regretting, okay? Crisp up the edges here. we're done. Just gonna buff, 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 buff. Now we're just gonna do some floral designs and we're good. And wash your hands. Alright, so I'm gonna get ready for her design. Here's my glove. The gloves always get beat up when I do hand filing.
In here?
Right there. I'm gonna use my gel art set and do the design with these colors here. Lavender, peach, blue. This for my kit. How does it look like she's going super hard with filing? When do you do? Hand file always sprays antibacterial hand files after each client. I use I have a pack of them. I have new ones every client. I throw them out. Many new ones. You can spray them. You can soak them in barbicide also. The hand filers.
Are you done with the new printer?
Yeah. The bit is a 5-in-1 sharp. This is the one on my shop. This one is, I've been using it for like maybe over 100 sets already since I've had it. Thank you. Make it look easy. It ain't easy. So this is the set now. Can you get that picture of what you want it out, please?
Okay.
So blue, pink, lavender, yellow. Blue, pink, lavender, yellow. This yellow here. Oop. Lavender. Blue.
Let me set it so that it doesn't lock on you.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. These are gel art paints, so they're a little bit thicker than polish.
It's already.
Just put it up. It's fine. I just need just take a look at it.
There you go.
Oops, sorry guys. We just can see. this is gel art paint, so it'll stay the design that I put it on there, so it won't bleed all over the place like regular gel polish. A lot. Oh no, they're actually connected. Oops. It's okay. Oops. I accidentally connected those pedals earlier, so I ruined it. I had to redo it. Yellow here. Let's do it this way. Yellow first. Put blue petals around it. Design seems annoying, isn't it? As it is. Actually, I wish I had a dotting tool. The design, when it's finished, matted, it actually looks really good. Just realized I have a whole hand to do. I'm gonna finish this hand up real quick, and then I'm gonna end the live and finish the other hand. I wouldn't want to make you guys sit here, but I'll show you guys the finished result with just by one hand, because I do the same thing on the other hand. Usually when I do lives where I have to do art like this, I'll probably save you guys the time to sit here and watch. I finished one whole hand design. There's gonna be layers of flowers on here. It's not just gonna be just this. It's gonna be matted, and the matted will bring it that look that we desire. I guess you can say these are just like multiple colored daisies. You can use regular gel polish for this, but I recommend if you use regular gel polish to cure per flower, because you wouldn't want it to what you call it, bleed all over the place. You'll lose the shape of the petals or something like that. I'm just gonna put in little petals here. Kind of want to pre-put the petals just in case. Okay, go ahead and cure it. And we'll put another layer of flowers on there. And we'll do the other hand. Cool. And this gel cures maybe 15-20 seconds. You can flash cure it. It's pretty fast. I'm just fast curing, so I can just put the other layer of flowers on here. This multiple ones. Some pinky, put some yellow. Ooh, started coming together already. Just doing layers of flowers here, layer and layer, three flower maybe per. But once you mat, this actually look really, really nice. The smaller ones are a little bit easier to do than the big ones. So I did the big ones first. Get them out of the way. They're the most painful ones. The smaller ones are just pretty much just using the brush, creating a divot. Do small, big flowers, small, big flowers. I mean, honestly, whenever I do this design, it's like you cannot be perfect. If you try to be perfect, oh my goodness, they drive you nuts. I learned my lesson a long, long time ago. One time I spent like almost an hour doing this design because I was trying to be perfect, and I end up not even liking it because I just so tired by the end of it. But it's just like this. It looks really simple, but if you overthink it, oh yeah, that'll ruin your day. Look how cute that is. Everything came together. Ah. When? Alright guys, I'm gonna mat this with my about two of them in here. My matte top coat here. Fill out that last cure real quick. Very nice thin layer. Go ahead. Yep, this is definitely for summery, seasony. But I'm gonna give that a 60-second cure. And I'll finish the other hand probably a little bit quicker when I'm not laughing, but I want to show you guys the finished results since you guys have been here since the beginning, but it'll take me another 15 minutes to do the other hand. This is not really pudding gel, this is more of a gel art paint. It's a thick gel consistency. I don't know what pudding gel is, but I think I've heard about it before. It might be a different thing. Yeah, the set comes with 12 colors, 6 neon, 6 pastel. I'm using a detailer brush. So, see that? Cute, right? Just enough, not too loud, not too crazy, but definitely ready for summer. There you guys go.